Welcome to AJ's Baking Company. I'm AJ. I own AJ's Baking Company, a small dessert business in Atlanta, Georgia. I sell custom cakes, desserts, wholesale baked goods, and I ship online baked goods as well, so be sure to check that out. We make all kinds of delicious things here, and today we're making perfect Snickerdoodles, the soft, chewy, crinkly cookie with that warm cinnamon flavor that everybody knows and loves. Such a nostalgic treat, but so timeless, and I love them. They're super easy to make, and this is my version of perfect cookies that stay soft and chewy for days, and I think you all are gonna love them. So in my bowl here, I have 1 stick of unsalted butter, that's a half a cup, and it's completely softened to room temperature, super, super important, and 2/3 of a cup of granulated sugar that we've just creamed together with our hand mixer until really light and fluffy, just about 2 minutes. Then we're gonna go in with 1 large egg and mix until nicely combined, followed by a teaspoon of vanilla extract. When it comes to the dry ingredients for this, we have cinnamon, salt, baking soda, and cream of tartar. The cream of tartar is that magic secret ingredient for Snickerdoodles that helps them stay so soft and chewy. They stay nice and thick, and it's a really essential ingredient. You can find it at any grocery store, so do not skip that. So we have a teaspoon of cinnamon, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of baking soda, and 3/4 of a teaspoon of cream of tartar. We also have 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm first gonna go in with the cinnamon, baking soda, salt, and cream of tartar in there. That's gonna be followed by the all-purpose flour. And then you always want to scrape your bowl down with a spatula just to make sure everything has been incorporated, and this is going to help us just get the bowl nice and clean, make sure this dough is all there. When it comes to getting these rolled out and ready for the oven, we've got our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I've got a nice big cookie sheet lined with parchment paper and some cinnamon sugar. This is just a half a cup of sugar mixed with 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. I always keep some in a container in the pantry because I never know when I'm going to want to sprinkle it over something or make Snickerdoodles. And I have a 2-inch cookie scoop. I find it makes the perfect size, but you can make these any size you want. Just note that the baking time will vary. So we're simply just going to take our cookie scoop. I like a nice heaping scoop. I don't level it off. Into our hands. We're going to roll it into a nice little ball here, like that, and then into the cinnamon sugar. And you want to really roll this around in there, make sure it is nicely coated. I have to admit, I make a lot of Snickerdoodles. I have a farmer's market booth here in Atlanta, Georgia, and one of the neighborhoods called Virginia Highland. And every other Thursday, I have a booth at the farmer's market where I sell my mixes and a variety of fresh baked desserts. Because I do custom cake orders, that's my main market here. And the booth is just a way to showcase all that. And every time I have Snickerdoodles, people go after them. Because if you do want to make these in advance, this is how far I would go. I would even roll them in the sugar, and then I would roll them into balls, put them in a container with parchment paper, and then just freeze them. And you can freeze it probably for up to a couple months. And they come out great every time. You just want to make sure they're completely thawed before you put them in the oven. And now I'm just going to arrange them on my sheet here. We're going to give them about 3 inches of space. And then the other trick with Snickerdoodles is that you actually want to gently press them down. You don't want to completely flatten them, but press them down into about 3-inch discs because these don't spread a ton because of that cream of tartar. So this is actually pretty important. And then oven to 350. What I love about this recipe is if you're using a 2-inch cookie scoop, this makes exactly 12, which really pleases my OCD. And these look great. So 350 degrees for about 12 to 13 minutes I found is that magic time. You want to look for a light golden brown around the edges. These are gonna puff up, but when they cool, they're gonna get nice and crinkly. So let's get these babies in the oven because they're gonna smell so good. And while those are in the oven, I have to plug myself just a little bit because I do own a business and I do ship nationwide on my website, which is linked in the description. So long story short, I started my business back in 2020 and I tested out dessert mixes because I wanted to share recipes with people, but a lot of people still don't have time or a lot of ingredients to make things with. and they think it's really difficult. I know baking's exact, but it's not that hard. You just gotta believe in yourself. So I came up with my dessert mixes. I tested recipes that would work in a box mix form to where you only had to add the liquid ingredients, and this chocolate chip cookie bar mix has been the best seller since day one, and I just launched these new and improved boxes, and y'all, I'm obsessed. These look so good, and I'm so proud of these. Instructions on the back: you just need a stick of melted butter, 2 eggs, 8-inch square or round pan, and 30 minutes in the oven at 350. They're absolutely delicious. If you would like to support my small business, I do ship nationwide. You can order this on my website. Link is in the description. Thanks in advance. Another very important part of making Snickerdoodles is letting them cool for about 5 minutes after they come out of the oven. I know there are very few things that are as enticing as a fresh out of the oven cookie, but you need to let them finish setting up. It is crucial to give them just 5 minutes. Be sure to check out the rest of my social media. I post lots of short videos and recipes across Instagram, Facebook, you name it, I probably do it. All the links are down below. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, leave me a thumbs up and some comments down below. Thank you all so much for joining me. Until next time, this is AJ's Baking Company.